So Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari
माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरधरी
Yashodarandana Braj Jana Ranjana Yashodarandana Braj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari Jai Radha
माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरधरी
Yashodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana
नंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi
जन वल्लभ गिरधरी
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare
हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Ram
हरे हरे
Hare Krishna
कृष्णा हरे
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Hare
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram Ram.
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So welcome all of you. We'll just begin by invoking the blessings of the Acharyas. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिनन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरों श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्तो राधाकान्तो नमस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषिभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। प्लीज रिपीट हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। वंस मोर हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Very warm welcome to all of you. So I hope everybody has purchased the book Nectar of Instruction. So in the last class we covered the first verse. Today we are going to cover the second verse. So actually first three verses are talking about the urges of the mind. So how we can control the mind, right? So Rupa Goswami goes in detail of the analysis of the urges of the mind and what has to be given up and what has to be adopted. So all these things. So that's why first four verses are very very important for any sadhaka who is trying to achieve Krishna through practicing bhakti. So in the first verse, we covered the six urges of the mind, and now basically we will cover the six properties which we should avoid, the propensities which we have: Atyahara, Prayas, Prajalpanya, Magra, Janasanga, and Lolya. So in the previous verse, like Rupa Goswami is saying that one who is able to control these six urges of mind, he can cultivate the disciples all over the world. So actually, it's a very like it's an amazing thing, right? Like you don't need to learn a lot of Rasa Shastra or Bhagavatam or very highly qualified scriptures in order to become a guru. In order to become a guru, you just have to control your mind and you have to execute a life in mode of goodness. And if your life is in goodness, then you can teach whatever you have assimilated in your heart. So that is what the NOI verse 1 states. And now Rupa Goswami will tell that what are the six qualities which are not favorable for cultivating bhakti in our heart, cultivating devotional service. So with that note, we'll start the second verse. Yeah, so today is the New Year class also, because this is the last class of our New Year, and like in our reading group, like people have been joining for last two years. So I would suggest that if you can take one resolution at the end of the class that I want to improve like this. Although there will be a lot of activities also in this session, so which will help us introspect and see where we are. But still, if you can personally determine one resolution, and we will discuss at the end of the class. Okay. So yeah, let's start the second verse. I'll recite once and you can repeat after me. Atyahara prayasascha. Can you repeat?
Atyara prayasas cha
Prajalpo niyamagraha.
prajalpo niyamagraha
Janasangascha lolyam cha.
jansangascha lalyam cha
Shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati.
sadbir bhaktir vinashyati
Yeah, thank you. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangasya lolyam cha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. Once devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following six activities. So first is eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. This is atyahara. Over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. This is prayasa. Talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. This is prajalpa. Practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. This is Niyamagra. And associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. This is Janasanga. And being greedy for mundane achievements. This is Lolyam. So Lolyam. So all these six things are with respect to the material things. And we will see that all these six things can also be spiritualized. These can be like for hearing Krishna Katha, you can be lolyam. So there is a line in Chetan Charitamrita, Tatra lolyam ekamulam. So for attaining Krishna, like having greed for hearing about Krishna is the only thing which we require to attain Krishna. So like this, although these six things are like here, like they are saying that it is not favorable for bhakti, but that is because these are connected to material things. But when these things are connected to spiritual things, then these can be actually used in attaining Krishna. We'll see that. So this is our lesson plan. Like we'll start with an icebreaker. Uh, I think here devotees are here, like where, like I think 3-4 devotees are there who are chanting 16 rounds, and there are some devotees who are chanting 2-3 rounds who are here who are like very much interested in hearing about Krishna and like learning the Shastra. So I would like, so we'll start with an icebreaker where basically what affects your spiritual life. Think of things which affect your spiritual life and come up with a couple of things which are affecting your spiritual life, because this verse is all about like the things which are affecting the spiritual life in a negative manner. So then we'll cover the lecture on Atyahara and Prayasa, and then we'll have some discussion. There is a story also, and then some analogies, and finally we'll conclude. So let's give 2 minutes and discuss this. Just think of a couple of things which are,
Hare
yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I have not understand the question.
So anything which is affecting your spiritual life in a negative manner, like any habit or any time management thing, any specific thing. For example, if you are not able to wake up early, or if you are like, if colleagues are disturbing you in the office place, something like that. So whatever is not letting you advance further in Krishna consciousness, you have to tell one or two things. Is it okay?
Yes, understood.
So these things will come when the goal is clear. Like when you know that you have to attain Krishna by hearing and chanting, then obviously then you will know that what is obstructing, what is the obstacle in that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was on mute. Sorry. Yeah. So everybody done? Like it has been 3 minutes now. So anybody wants to share anything which is obstructing him in spiritual life? Yeah. Yes, Punam Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare
Sorry.
Krishna to all. Please. Yeah, there are two habits which cause lot of obstruction in my spiritual life. One is use of more and more social media, and another thing is I can't get up early in the morning. It will cause lot of hindrance.
Okay. Thank you. So your resolution can be related to both these things. You can
Yes,
regulate.
yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else?
Mine is like extending my office hours. One of that is the major thing that is obstructing me.
Okay. So you are working overtime basically, 12
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. I'm basically logging in too early also and logging out late as well.
So
So
what
that
is the solution to that?
solution is like to make it fixed hours and more of it. I should start going to the office again, and so
Hmm.
that would kind of basically fix my time working.
Yeah, more regulated and more efficiency basically. Generally, we bicker along, right? Sometimes in between we see Facebook, sometimes we talk to friends. So our efficiency is not appropriate. Yeah, actually, if our consciousness is elevated, then our efficiency improves a lot. So that's why I recommend people go to temple once a week, attend Mangal Aarti, attend the programs. That because by devotee association, your consciousness will elevate, and then your efficiency in material things also will increase. So yeah. So try to have some measurable goals for next 2 months around this section. Anybody else? Yeah, Ravi. Yeah, Pragya Mataji, yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have some material friends and I avoid them. but they call me, come at my home, wasting my 4 5 hours. So it's very difficult to avoid them. And and sometimes and another thing is it's not possible for me to take prasadam every single day
Oh,
because I'm the only one at my home who wants to take prasadam.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, slowly, slowly. If you can cook once at least every day, maybe in the morning after taking bath, chanting your japa, that will be nice. And what do you mean by material friends? Do they not have a spirit soul? How are they material?
No, no, really, I should not use this word material
Yeah.
friends. But they talk only material things.
Mm.
They don't want to talk about Krishna.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody is a devotee. Everybody has a heart, has Krishna consciousness, which is dormant in their heart. So we have to see like that, even non-devotees. And if they are interacting, then you also tell what you are doing. So you tell about Krishna, what you discussed, what you heard. So only solution is to keep your hearing and chanting very strong. So, so if you have material friends, then you make spiritual friends also, and maybe make more spiritual friends than material friends. So then slowly, slowly, material friends also who want to practice spirituality, they might one of them might convert into spiritual. So like this, we kantakam kantake neva. Like we pull out the thorn with a thorn. So we don't give up anything, but we whoever is interested in Krishna, we bring him to Krishna. So your consciousness should be strong. Your dedication to Krishna in hearing and chanting should be strong. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Anybody else? Yeah, Bharti Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
From for me, it is also the social sites like Facebook and Instagram. When I see pictures of my friends or relatives, so that hampers me a lot. That yes, they are happy, that creates hindrance in my spiritual life,
Yeah, yeah,
and I feel that sometimes the connection between me and Krishna is sometimes I feel that is lost.
yeah.
And one more point is that whenever I start engaging myself too much in material things, in material happiness, at that time also I found that the connection is lost.
Mm.
And when I aloof myself from those things, then
It is
I
real.
my connection is re-established.
Yes, yes. Bhaktir Bhavati Nastiki. Nasta Prayasho Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nast. So your bhakti is re-established in your heart when you come out of your distractions. So which is very natural. So yeah, so this is the life of a sadhaka. Like sadhaka always has some baggage, and it's not so easy for him to get rid of those baggage. But by higher association, he can do that. For example, social networking sites, right? So it is said that one is more interested in others' life than his own life. So he doesn't want to work in his heart or with his relatives or like in his relationship with Krishna. Rather, he is more interested what other people are doing. So that's why we go to social networking site because we think that we might find some pleasure there. Mind finds some pleasure. So these are all working of the mind. So after every 2 minutes checking the mail in office or after every 2 minutes checking Facebook. So all these are deliberations. We have to change our deliberations. So that's why like even these three verses are like talking about mind. So when we are able to train our mind, then our mind will be guided by the spiritual intelligence, and it will not be pushed by these urges. So that's why you regulate it. Matlab, if you really have to see Facebook, for example, I don't see Facebook, LinkedIn, like maybe, but mail I have to improve. Like personally, I'll also say that like mails also like I check 3 4 times once a day. So I should maybe check 2 times at the most. So whatever is not needed, you should try to like decrease. But the principle is your spiritual energy should be strong by good association. And one of the principles which I wanted to share is that in devotees also there are levels of devotees. Like some devotees are very, very nice devotees by whose association your consciousness becomes elevated, you feel spiritually surcharged. But then there are other devotees also who are mixed devotees, who have more material propensities actually, and they are just practicing bhakti in the namesake. So my resolution is to like take association very carefully, like take associate, basically protect myself and take association of senior devotees and be compassionate to other devotees. So that is my resolution. Yeah. Prema Maitri Kripa Peksha. So yeah, that is the symptoms of Madhyamadikari. So yeah, so this is a platform where you can reveal your heart, what are your weaknesses, right? And you are revealing it. But then slowly, by depending on Krishna, you have to work on it. You can't just say that, "Oh, okay, I'm so fallen, I'll not be able to do such thing." But you should be excited actually to take shelter of Krishna. You should be excited to put a role model in the society to propagate Krishna consciousness. You should be excited to experience Krishna. Krishna consciousness is very dynamic. It's very ecstatic actually. It's not static. It's ecstatic, and all this ecstasy comes when you basically take association nicely. Okay. Chalo. Anybody else or we'll go forward? Yeah, Mata, Bharti Mata bole.
Prabhuji, I would love to share one experience. If you give
Yeah,
me 5 minutes. Uh, Actually,
yeah.
I found, on not a 5 minutes, 3 4 minutes.
Okay.
Whenever I started finding pleasure in material things, at that time, my concentration or my, I can say, connection is lost. And whenever I am sad or something happens to me in my life, then again I diverted my mind to spirituality, and I found my connection is re-established. Is this things, matlab, is this thing is okay, or matlab, what should I do?
Very nice question. I think this is very nice question actually. Ravi Prabhu, you understood this question which Bharti Mata is asking?
नहीं नहीं, एक बार फिर से थोड़ा सा बता दीजिए.
So Bharti Mata is saying that basically when she is hankering for material happiness, then she feels distracted, but then something happens in her life, like basically forcibly, which leads her to adopt spirituality. So actually, spirituality also can be practiced on three levels. So spirituality out of fear, spirituality out of duty, and then spirituality out of love. So right now, your spirituality is out of fear, which is in actually tending towards mode of ignorance. That's why, that's why it is said that uh, God is not only to be called when there are problems. God is a necessity. Like even if there is happiness, your husband, your kids are doing good, you are very happy with them, then also you have to practice spirituality, because these ups and downs will continue. Only when we face problems, then we turn to Krishna. That is a very very lower level of sadhana bhakti. So that is there. But yeah, of course, we have our baggage, we have our sanskaras, so we are acting according to those. But that's why it's important to have a good morning program. Like now we have started like discussing Bhagavatam also. Like four of us are doing it 3 days a week. So it's very nourishing, like hearing from Maharaj, Rumpad Maharaj, and discussing. We feel a lot of connectivity. So like this, basically, whatever helps you in like cultivating your bhakti, that you should do. And then slowly those sanskaras will go. Otherwise, yeah, like we all of us, like Chaturvida Bhajante Mam Jana Sukritino Arjuna, Jigyasu Artharthi, Yanicha Bharatarshava. So most of the people come out of distress only to Krishna consciousness. And I think that's what you are saying. But yeah, somehow by taking association of devotees, we have to change our conceptions. We have to give priority to Krishna and his devotees. And then those problems, basically, then you will always be above those problems. Right now, you are beneath those problems. And those problems are actually boggling you. And when they boggle you, when they create a lot of subtle pressure and subtle disturbances, then you take shelter of Krishna. So instead, you always stay connected with Krishna, and then you see those, then you are always above those problems. Just like an Empire State Building, when you go on the top of the Empire State Building, the entire city are just like ants, right? So those problems will also look like ants because you are already connected to Krishna. You know that these problems are temporary. Like these will go today, here today, gone tomorrow. So today they are here, tomorrow they will not be there. But Krishna will be there always. His devotees will be there. And problems
प्रभु
are generally, yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
हाँ प्रभु जी, मुझे भी 2 मिनट का टाइम चाहिए बोलने के लिए।
Yes.
2 मिनट या उससे भी कम भी बेशक।
Uh,
पहले रिप्लाइंग टू भारती मैम, जो सबके लिए प्रॉब्लम है, ये तो इट्स अ कॉमन प्रॉब्लम फॉर एनी ह्यूमन बीइंग। आई मेरे को अभी किसी ने बहुत अच्छा एक भेजा था, कृष्णा मतलब वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड हु इज इन एक्सेंचर, कि प्रेयर्स शुड बी यूज्ड एज अ मेन व्हील एंड नॉट एज अ स्टेपनी व्हील।
yeah.
तो प्रेयर इज पार्ट ऑफ अवर लाइफ, मतलब मेन व्हील है वो। आप उसको तब मत सोचो कि यूज करूंगा जब मुझे प्रॉब्लम होगी और मुझे स्टेपनी की जरूरत है गाड़ी में। डोंट डू इट। So I found it very nice. I mean, it's such a good line which has been sent, कि हमें हमेशा ही भगवान, या हम कहते हैं कि दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे ना कोई, सुख में जो सुमिरन करे दुख काहे को होई, which is same thing, कि हमें हमेशा ही कृष्णा को याद रखना चाहिए। और मेरा रेजोल्यूशन है कि मुझे सुबह 4 बजे उठना है। मैं पिछले 1 साल से सोच रहा हूँ, उठ नहीं पा रहा हूँ, बिकॉज मुझे उठना है। उससे मेरी लाइफ, पूरा दिन का लाइफ, मंथ का लाइफ, साल, पूरे साल का लाइफ और लाइफ पूरा अच्छा हो जाएगा। क्यों अच्छा हो जाएगा? बिकॉज अगर मैं सुबह 2 घंटे कृष्णा को दे दूं, 2-3 घंटे, तो मेरा पूरा दिन वेल ग्राउंडेड रहेगा। मैं दुनिया की हर चीज फेस कर पाऊंगा, लोगों के ग्रीड, लोगों के जेलसी, लोगों के जलन, जो भी लोगों में प्रॉब्लम्स है, इम्परफेक्शंस है, मेरे में भी हैं, वो मैं फेस कर पाऊंगा। तो आई विल गेट फेयरली ग्राउंडेड अगर मैं 2-3 घंटे कृष्णा को ब्रह्म काल में दे पाऊं। बिकॉज उसके बाद का जो काल शुरू होता है वो पैशन और इग्नोरेंस का काल है। उसको फेस करने के लिए मुझे ब्रह्म काल में उठना जरूरी है। दैट इज माई रेजोल्यूशन इन हरे कृष्णा।
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. दुख में स्मरण हर कोई को, वो that chapai is very nice what you quoted. I heard this last year. ठीक है, so you got the answer ना भारती माता?
Yeah, okay, and I will try my best to improve this habit.
Yeah, you have to increase the spiritual energy by devotee association and your faith, your convictions. You have to work on your convictions also. So we'll proceed. I think already, I think 40 minutes are over. So basically, if you see the purport of this verse, the Prabhupada is saying that human life is meant for plain living and high thinking. So and in this section of the purport, the starting basically Prabhupada is mentioning about the three energies of the Lord, Tathastha Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, and Antaranga Shakti, and the three kleshas, Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Adhyatmika. And then Prabhupada is giving definition of Mahatma and Duratma. So why he is doing like this? We will understand this. So a Mahatma is one who takes shelter of the internal potency of the Lord. Mahatmanastu Mampartha Devim Prakriti Mastrita Bhajanti Ananya Manastu Gyatva Bhutadim Avyayam. So only when a person gratifies the senses of the Supreme Lord can he be called a Mahatma or broad-minded person. So we have to cultivate this habits of serving Krishna, like offering bhoga to Krishna, chanting the holy names, reading from Bhagavatam, serving the devotees, and discussing realizations with devotees. So then we are actually we are taking shelter of the internal potency. And these are the like three energies which are there, which belong to the Lord actually. So for example, Radharani also. Radharani is the Hladini Shakti of Krishna. So that is one portion of the Antaranga Shakti. So anybody wants to read this, like these three energies? You can raise your hand who wants to read. If nobody wants to read, I'll read. Yeah, Mataji, please go ahead. Puna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. In the above quoted verse from Bhagavad Gita, the words Devim Prakritim refers to the control of the internal potency or pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This pleasure potency is manifested as Srimati Radharani or her expansion Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. When the individual jiva souls are under the control of internal energy, their only engagement is the satisfaction of Krishna or Vishnu. This is the position of Mahatma. If one is not Mahatma, he is a Duratma or a cripple minded person. Such mentally crippled Duratmas are put under the control of Lord's external potency, Mahamaya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah. So basically, either we are. So is there some question? Okay. Yeah. Let me finish this. Then we'll discuss. So, so either a living entity is under the shelter of Antaranga Shakti or he is in shelter of Bahiranga Shakti. And generally, we are marginal. We are in the marginal state. Marginal state. What is the example? The beach, the sand which is on the beach. Sometimes the sea waves come and they like drench the sand, and when the sea waves recede, then again the sand becomes dry by the sunlight. So the living entities are also like that, the conditioned living entities. Sometimes we take shelter of Krishna. Sometimes when we hear from devotees, when we chant, then we are under the internal potency. But then we try to hanker for like material happiness when we take prasadam or any other, when we have expectations in relationships. So all these are like taking shelter of Mahamaya, which is the Bahiranga Shakti. So here, like Prabhupada is saying that if we are not taking shelter of Antaranga Shakti, which is Yog Maya, then by default you become a Duratma. You have become a cripple-minded person. And when you are a Duratma, when you are under the influence of the three modes of nature, then automatically the mind will move you. Like you will not be able to control your mind, but the mind will control you. So you will move according to the urges of the mind. For example, last time we discussed that Deepak Prabhu, right? Like he basically, if you want to eat ice cream, then you run 4 kilometers to eat that ice cream. So like this, basically, according to your urges, you have to go. You have to fulfill those urges, and and also we have to work like that. Like we cannot maintain this body and soul together without working. And there is this verse. This is third chapter, fifth verse of Bhagavad Gita. So if you are under the shelter of Mahamaya, which is the actually the external potency, then you cannot stop acting. You have to forcibly act. Na hi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karmakrit karyate hi avasya karma sarva prakriti jargune. All men are forced to act helplessly according to the impulses born of the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. So that's why we have to keep our mind engaged. Matlab, if you can make a schedule that okay, I will have this 8 hours for bhakti, this 8 hours for occupational duty, and this 8 hours for my body, like resting and uh, prasadam, whatever your body needs, right? So then basically you will be able to regulate yourself somehow, and you will be able to understand that what mode of nature you are acting under. So that is like that's what Prabhupada is saying, that either we are in the shelter of Maya or we are in the shelter of internal potency. There is nothing else actually. And if we are under the shelter of Maya, then we will have to face these three kleshas. Adi Deva Bhutatma Hetava. Adi Devika Klesha, Adi Bhautika Klesha, and Adhyatmika Klesha. So Adi Devika Klesha is the suffering which is endured by the demigods, like earthquakes, volcanoes, coronavirus, any virus, right? And coronavirus is indirectly Adi Bhautika also, right? And sufferings which are inflicted by other living entities also. For example, if somebody like you become disturbed by somebody else's behavior, so that is Adi Bhautika. And Adhyatmika is basically sufferings by our own mind, which is mostly the case with all of us. So indeed, all living entities within this material world are under the control of Mahamaya, whose business is to subject them to the influence of threefold miseries. So yeah, so either you are in Yog Maya or in Mahamaya. If you are in Yog Maya, then you are a Mahatma, and you can be basically very happy in your relationship with Krishna. But if you are under Mahamaya, then you will not be able to control your mind. You will not be able to control your life. Just like people are saying, we are not able to manage time. We are going to social networking sites, not able to wake up in the morning. So these are all basically scopes of areas of improvement, and these can be acted upon by taking shelter of devotees and associating with them, hearing and chanting in the association of devotees. Okay. So basically, the verse is this, that the Rupa Goswami is saying that these six things are very detrimental to bhakti, and Prabhupada is emphasizing on simple living, high thinking. So what is the reason? Like why Prabhupada is building this context for this verse? Any idea? Yeah.
Is it maybe because like with the passage of time we will have like we are we have a lot of gadgets and the life is going to get dependent on those gadgets and but still we should live our life in simplicity with like the less we have the more happier we'll be like without much dependency on
Hmm.
unnecessary things. For example, uh, previously we usually didn't have mobile phones and the life was much simpler. After mobile phones, obviously the life has changed for good, but like he wants to show that even if we have so many good things around us technology wise, but
Yeah.
without them sometimes we should try to live our life with simplicity.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. So Prabhupada is emphasizing simple living, high thinking, because this is the need of the hour. Because Prabhupada is saying that generally we are actually existing in the spiritual world, in the association of Krishna, we are serving him. But when we are in this material world, then we have to do something to keep our body working, right? And so though how to live our life in this material world and experience spiritual world in this material world. So for that, simple living, high thinking is required. And for that, these six things should be understood, that wherever we are falling short of these six things, then it will not help us to attain simple living, high thinking. So this is the problem statement for this verse, basically. That's why like Prabhupada wants to solve these problems which we face in this material world by so in order to solve these problems, we will have to he is emphasizing on the understanding of these six things which are detrimental to our bhakti life. So anybody wants to read this problem statement? You have to raise your hand, Himanshu. You also remember, no? First raise your hand, then speak. Yeah, go ahead, Bart.
Hare Krishna. Problem statement for this verse. The main problem confronting the conditioned soul is the repetition of birth, old age, disease, and death. In the material world, one has to work for the maintenance of the body and soul. But how can one perform such work in a way that is favorable for the execution of Krishna consciousness? Everyone requires possessions such as food, grains, clothing, money, and other things necessary for the maintenance of the body. But one should not collect more than necessary for his actual basic needs. If this natural principle is followed, there will be no difficulty in maintaining the body. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So everybody got the problem statement, like what Prabhupada is going to discuss in the next section. So basically, how we live our life is very important to keep it simple. As Imanju said, ki now we have a lot of gadgets, and like if we increase the dependency on those gadgets, then our consciousness goes for a toss. So we have to minimize the dependency on those gadgets, right? And that can happen only by regulation. So only when it is needed, we should do. Yatharam upayunjata. अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथारम उपयुञ्जता निर्बंध कृष्ण संबंधे युक्त वैराग्यम उच्यते. So yukta vairagya is where you can use everything in its utility. Utility is the principle. So Prabhupada used to say that preaching is the essence, utility is the principle, books are the basis, right? And anything else? Has anybody heard of these sentences? Purity is the force. Last one is purity is the force. Yeah. So utility is the principle. So whatever till whatever level we need it, we should use it for our material purposes. But we should not over endeavor it. We should not overuse it. If mobile phone is required, we should use it for 2 hours. We should regulate it. WhatsApp, you check morning 15 minutes, evening 15 minutes. Try to come to this level. Don't use WhatsApp throughout the day. Unless there is a conversation required. ठीक है. Conversation, tell them to call if they want conversation. Don't chat on WhatsApp or Gmail. Try to have a conversation on phone. That will help you basically uh, reduce your positive energy loss in these devices. Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna. So yeah, so this is the real goal of life. This is the conclusion that ultimately we have to attain Krishna by our occupational duties. The occupational duties are not meant for just earning money and enjoying sense gratification, going to clubs and eating in restaurants. That is not all. But actually, we have to realize, we have to understand our relationship with Krishna. We have to understand that we are a spirit soul, and our real dharma is bhakti. धर्मस्य हि अपवर्गस्य नार्थो अर्थाय अपकल्पते नार्थस्य धर्मकान्तस्य कामो लाभाय हि स्मृता. All occupational engagements, dharma, are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service, dharma, should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. ठीक है, clear है नहीं? Are certainly meant for. But then the question will come that how will I use my occupational engagements for liberation? Anybody? Anybody has the answer to this question? Here it is saying that you should have such occupational engagements which can liberate you only. But if they are performed for just earning money, then they will not. Anybody else? Bharti is very active, I know. Nidhi Mata, Pragya Mata ji, Akshat Prabhu.
क्या प्रभु? What is the question?
That occupational engagements are meant for ultimate liberation, but are we able to follow this?
No, not exactly.
Then how should we follow?
By regulating them, जैसे बोलते हैं कि आप नदी को नहीं रोक सकते, उसकी धार को नहीं रोक सकते. आई डोंट नो मैं सही बोल रहा हूँ कि नहीं. नदी की धार को आप मोड़ सकते हो, विच इज इजी. तो आपके काम जो भी कर रहे हो आप कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में करिए. आप खाना बना रहे हो उनके लिए बनाइए, सफाई कर रहे हो उनके लिए करिए, कमा रहे हैं उनके लिए कमाइए. 10% जो भी आप दे सकते हो उनके लिए अलग कर रखिए. तो इट्स मोर लाइक मोल्डिंग द वे यू आर डूइंग इट रादर देन स्टॉपिंग इट.
Yes, bro. Yes. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू.
नदी की धार को रोक नहीं सकते, मोड़ सकते हैं बस. तो वही है बेसिकली. मतलब अगर हम अपनी कॉन्शियसनेस हियरिंग चैंटिंग को प्रायोरिटाइज करके फिर हम ऑक्यूपेशनल ड्यूटी करें तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि हम कृष्णा कॉन्शियस रह पाए वर्क प्लेस पे भी, है ना. और बेस्ट ये है कि हमें जो हमारा जो अकाउंट होता है, जो हमारी सैलरी होती है, उसमें से भी कुछ पोर्शन हमें देना चाहिए कृष्णा कॉन्शियस फॉर प्रोपोगेशन ऑफ कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस. तो उससे एक डिटैचमेंट आता है, क्योंकि वो जो मनी है उसका भी एक कर्मा होता है एक्चुअली. तो वो भी फिर हम प्रोग्रेसिव हो जाते हैं. मतलब गृहस्था हैज टू बी चैरिटेबल. गृहस्था शुड गिव चैरिटी एंड दैट चैरिटी विल बेसिकली हेल्प हिम. बलि महाराज की स्टोरी इसमें बहुत अमेजिंग है. बलि महाराज गेव एवरीथिंग टू वामनदेव इन 3 steps of land. हाँ, यस हिमांशु. हाँ, बट ये है कि जो भी आप कर रहे हो ना मटेरियल चीज, उससे आपका ना हियरिंग चैंटिंग में टेस्ट बढ़ना चाहिए. श्रद्धा, मतलब एक वर्ड्स है इसमें भागवतम में, इसके जस्ट बाद ही है, इसमें लास्ट में आता है श्रमेव ही केवलम. श्रद्धा भक्तिरुत्पाद्यते रतिम श्रमेव ही केवलम. So if the occupational duty is not enlivening your interest in hearing and chanting, then it is just hard work. Although it will not take you to the right goal. So that is also important. Yes, Himanshu, bro.
So I was saying that if we keep Krishna in the center of all the things, then I think we'll be able to, like, whatever we are doing, if Krishna is in the center, then all our actions are kind of, we are busy, that like that will ensure that whatever we are doing, that is for the service of Krishna. So even if we are working and if we are earning money, then we should be able to earn good money so that we can do better service for the Lord. और like अच्छा खाना बनाएंगे तो अच्छा भोग लगेगा, वैसा कुछ कह सकते हो. But at the same time, what happens is like in our day-to-day activities, we get so much entangled in like in just earning money or feeling anxious about the job. Like, so that is a different road altogether. But yeah, we should try to keep a balance.
Yes. So whatever you do, yat karoshi yadashnasi yat jehoshi dadasi yat tapassasi kaundya tat karoshi madarpan. So keeping Krishna in center has to be done according to scriptures. मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि आप अपने हिसाब से कर रहे हो कि हाँ मैं अपने दोस्तों के साथ घूम रहा हूँ, अपनी वाइफ के दोस्तों के साथ घूम रहा हूँ, लेकिन कृष्णा सेंटर में है. ऐसा नहीं होता है. आप इंडिया गेट घूम रहे हो, रेस्टोरेंट में खा रहे हो और कृष्णा सेंटर में. तो वो मतलब वो एक डुप्लिसिटस लाइफ है वो एक्चुअली. दैट विल नॉट टेक यू एनीवेयर. तो रियलिस्टिक होना चाहिए हमें अपने मतलब अपनी लाइफ के बारे में और हमारे क्या, व्हाट डज इट मीन टू कीप कृष्णा इन सेंटर. अब जैसे प्रज्ञा माता जी ने शेयर किया, मतलब ही फील्स गिल्टी कि अगर वो प्रसाद नहीं ले पाती हैं हफ्ते में, दिन भर में एक ही बार ले पाते हैं या कभी कभी नहीं ले पाती. So that's how we have to be basically. If we are not doing something, if we are not doing something right, then we have to repent on that. Then only we'll improve. Otherwise, we'll keep on doing wrong things, and that will just cause a lot of problems in our heart. Actually, that will not help us in moving forward. So we have to understand Shastra, and we have to understand how important it is to take devotee association. Otherwise, keeping Krishna in center, it will be just like a on the merry-go-round. Wherever you are saying that okay, Krishna is in center, but there is no progress actually. Okay, thank you for yeah for sharing. Go through next slide. Yeah, so now we will start with the words. So this is Atyahara. Okay, yeah, so anybody wants to read? Yeah, Ravi bro, go ahead.
I have to read what is being shown on the screen, na?
Yes, bro, yes.
Okay. According to nature's arrangement, living entities lower on the evolutionary scale do not eat or collect money more than necessary. Consequently, in the animal kingdom, there is generally no economic problem or scarcity of necessities. If a bag of rice is placed in a public place, birds will come to eat a few grains and go away. A human being, however, will take away the whole bag. He will eat all his stomach can hold, and then try to keep the rest in storage. According to scriptures, this collecting of more than necessary atyahara is prohibited. Now the entire world is suffering because of it. Okay, Hare Krishna. प्रभु जी, मेरे को एक क्वेश्चन है, इसी से रिलेटेड एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन है
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
कि हाउ मच इज एनफ. ऐसे मेरे पास पैसा नहीं था बीच में, मेरे पास बिल्कुल नहीं था. आई वाज नॉट एबल टू रन माय फैमिली. रोज के लिए भी मेरे पास पैसा नहीं था. अब ऐसा टाइम है व्हेन आई हैव सम मनी बिकॉज आई हैव सोल्ड माय हाउस एंड ऑल दैट. तो हाउ मच इज द, अब मुझे डर लगता है कि मेरे पास कितना पैसा मुझे बैंक में रखना चाहिए कि नहीं रखना चाहिए, कि खर्च कर देना चाहिए, कि लोगों पे उड़ा देना चाहिए, कि मुझे सस्टेन भी करना है अपने को लाइफ में, कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस भी रहना है और दोबारा ऐसी कंडीशन ना है. तो हाउ मच इज द राइट. यू गॉट द क्वेश्चन.
देखिए वी आर नॉट द कंट्रोलर, कृष्णा इज द कंट्रोलर. ठीक है, जो आपकी लाइफ में सिचुएशन आई वो आपके कंट्रोल में नहीं थी. कृष्णा ब्रॉट दैट सिचुएशन ड्यू टू सम एक्शन व्हिच यू डिड 10 years बैक. ठीक है, so what we are doing, it is determining our destiny 10 years after. What we are doing right now, it is actually telling us how will our life be in next life or after 10 years. So these situations are not in our control. But this question is good in the sense ki what is our duty, matlab how we should save our money. And So there is a standard given by Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami that basically what they used to do is like they used to give 50% of their income in charity for propagating Krishna consciousness. 25% they used to keep for their own spending, and 25% for their relatives. So this is the highest standard. And these days, like in ISKCON, like people start from 10% charity, and then rest of it you can divide. Some portion you can keep it for your family members. For example, I keep 20% for my family members, and then rest everything I can save. Like if I'm giving 20% charity, 30% for family members, and 30% normal, then 30% I can save. So like this we can also save. But saving should
Okay.
be there. Like there should not be any spendthriftness. Basically, extravagance should not be there. So there
Right,
has
right.
to be arth sayam and vak sayam and time. I don't time sayam. Basically, we have to control our propensity of spending, and we have to control the propensity of speaking, and we have to control the propensity of wasting time. So these
True,
three things
Prabhu.
we
True,
have
true,
to
true.
control.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah. तो जैसे अभी मैं भी मतलब कर रहा हूँ जो भी कर रहा हूँ पिछले मतलब लास्ट 4 years आई हैव बीन इन सेम कंपनी. So although I don't really matlab, I really don't like so much software development. I better be in a administrative position, or some maybe patan teacher position, right? But still whatever I accept it as Krishna's plan, and whatever Krishna is giving, I am trying to use it in Krishna's service. So that's what we can do. And yeah, 25% for emergency purposes we should keep. 25% salary we should save for emergency purposes. ठीक है.
वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट प्रभु जी. मेरे पास मेडिकल प्लान भी नहीं था. कुछ महीने पहले तो मैं गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में हो गया था भर्ती, और मेरे बेड के नीचे बिल्ली भी घूम रही थी यहाँ पे दिल्ली में. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल खराब होते हैं, बट आई डिडंट हैव द मनी इवन टू हैव अ मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस फॉर मी व्हेन आई वाज सॉर्ट ऑफ आई वांटेड अ ब्लड प्रॉब्लम, लिवर इन्फेक्शन हो गया था, ब्लड चाहिए था एंड ऑल दैट. बट आई हैड टू स्पेंड 10 days इन अ गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल. नॉट टू से दैट गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल्स आर बैड और डॉक्टर्स आर बैड, बट देन यस, मेडिकल इमरजेंसी के लिए भी पैसा होना चाहिए.
yes, bro, yes. And Prabhu, like for a grahastha na, every month they should go to pilgrimage for 3 days. Matlab, that is advisable, because living in a place where in a metropolitan, you are always affected by subtle contaminations. So that is also there. Your previous prarabdha will also act, and your like present. So wherever you are living, it should be clean. It should be brahmanical. So Prabhupada says that without cow protection, there cannot be any Krishna consciousness. There cannot be any human life. Without cow protection, there is animal life only. So these things, these statements are very powerful. Actually, nobody understands their importance, but actually, the way you are living determines your consciousness, the lifestyle which you are living, and
True, true.
the food which you are eating. So all
True,
these things
true.
are very subtle, actually.
Very true, very true.
So that's why we have to come together and like discuss about Krishna, attend temple programs, and do some service for Krishna. Then we'll understand what is progress. Right now we are just struggling with our subtle challenges. So it takes 10 years of rigorous practice, actually 20 years. But if you do 10 years of intense practice, then you will come to a good standard where you can guide others, and you are above most of the miseries, basically.
True,
But
Prabhu, true.
yeah,
True,
intensity should be there.
true.
Okay. So this analogy is very, very nice. This bird and human being. And so this is the Atyara propensity, that human being is so much concerned about future that he keeps everything. And in previous, like there used to be in previous times, in Vedic times, there used to be sannyasis who did never earned. They used to just beg for madhukarit. Actually, they used to beg for giving knowledge, and instead, whatever householders used to give, they used to just survive on that, because they were like on the subtle platform, their mind was very peaceful. So that is important, because if your mind is peaceful, then you can be just happy and satisfied with whatever little Krishna is giving. Obviously, it's not possible in metropolitans like Delhi, But still, if you go to some Indian villages, like they survive on madhukari actually. Many people. Yeah, so that's why like there is so much insecurity because of the like degrading Kali Yuga. But still, we should not be worried too much. Like we should just do our present duties very nicely in mode of goodness, and then Krishna will arrange. Prabhupada is writing in the preface also that if you execute your life in mode of goodness, then everything else which you need to know to advance further will be revealed. So it's very important to to be in mode of goodness. And here Prabhupada is saying that if you distribute everything in all the among everybody, then actually there will be no suffering in this world. So it is meant to be distributed because Krishna has given so many things. It is for use of everybody only. One time I was taking Charnamrit in Vrindavan, so I felt like taking some more Charnamrit. So I was making like I was just little hesitated to ask for it. Then I asked the devotee who was giving Charnamrit. I said, Prabhu, can I take little more? He said, yes, yes, yes. This Charnamrit is for devotees only. Devotees take, then this Charnamrit is utilized. So he very enthusiastically gave me a lot of Charnamrit. So like this, don't misapply this principle. Like don't think if I am liking some prasadam, if I eat more of that prasadam, then that is also a tyara. That is not a tyara. A tyara is where you have a lot of insecurity and you are conserving a lot of things and you don't have sufficient faith on Krishna. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so this is one more story to demonstrate futility of Atyara. So always a devotee is thinking on the subtle platform, basically how he can improve his consciousness. And whatever struggles are coming, whatever problems are coming in our life, that is because of our subtle. Basically, the subtle thing is getting fructified. The prarabdha is getting fructified. If our consciousness is elevated, these things will not happen. That's why I keep urging at least the devotees who are chanting 16 rounds that please come to Vrindavan once a year. At least spend 10 days, 1 week, 3 days, whatever whatever is your capacity, whatever is your vessel. Because when you are in Dham, there is a lot of energy and you can work on your consciousness there. Here, you are in your house, but like you cannot elevate the highest you cannot practice the highest standard of Krishna consciousness, right? So some higher source of energy has to be there, either in the form of devotees or deities or dham, something like that. Okay, so anybody wants to read? I think Akshat Prabhu hasn't read. Akshat Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu. Once a great Karmi accumulates a very fortune for his sons and grandson. But later, according to his karma, he took his birth in cobbler's house located near building, which in his previous life he has constructed for his children. It is so happened that when this very cobbler came to his former house, his former sons and grandsons beat him with shoes. Unless this karmis and gyanis become interested in Krishna consciousness, they will simply continue to waste their life in fruitless activities. Hare Krishna.
Okay, yeah, you have to read daily personally, you have to improve your reading. So basically, this very nice story, like although we keep on accumulating for our family, but actually this person. So we should not like over accumulate or overdo things. There is a saying that like the money is good as far as money is able to manage you, like you are able to manage the money, but as soon as the money increases and you are not able to manage the money, then it is not good. So you should earn money to the level at which you can manage that money. After that you should not, like beyond that you should not earn that money, because then your mind will go towards that only, that so much I have and I have to increase or decrease, what should I do. So that lot of energy is spent actually in managing that money. So that's why money should be earned only whatever is needed. Okay,
हाँ
not
प्रभु जी iPhone 15 आ गया है मार्केट में.
yes. Oh yes. The next is prayasa. Basically, like now till now we have discussed about atyahara. What are the yeah. So prayasa means over endeavoring for material endeavors. So if our endeavor is not to inquire about the absolute truth, we will simply increase our endeavor to satisfy our artificial needs. A spiritual aspirant should avoid mundane endeavor. So what does this mean? This line is very important. Anybody? If our endeavor is not to inquire about the absolute truth, we will simply increase our endeavor to satisfy our artificial needs. So actually, anybody wants to try? What does this line mean? And anybody got this line?
Yeah, I can try प्रभु.
Anybody else? Actually, you are already participating. So.
Okay.
Nidhi Mataji, you want to try? Or Pragya Mataji? Yeah, go ahead, Nidhi Mataji, if you are saying something.
Yeah, I think if we are not if we are not heading ourselves towards Krishna conscious to know about him, so then otherwise it will be like towards satisfying our own needs, our daily routine needs. We need this. That is why we are
Yes.
you are practicing Krishna consciousness for that.
Can you give an example? I think you are on the right track. But can you give an example?
Yeah, for example, if I do puja to pray to God to give me home, more money, this or that, then it's, I think, otherwise. And if we ask bhakti, and if we are doing practicing Krishna consciousness for that, so I think we are inquiring about the absolute truth. That's that.
Yeah. So for Atato Brahma Jigyasa, who am I? So for example, when Sanatan Goswami and Rup Goswami, they approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they asked, Ke Ami? Ke Ami? Who am I? Who am I? They say people are saying that I am Pandit. I am thinking I am Pandit, but am I Pandit? Actually not. I am a spirit soul. So Atato Brahma Jigyasa has to be there. And so that's why when you hear, then you have to discuss. And when you discuss, then you get more absorbed. For example, now we are hearing Dhruv Maharaj stories, right? So then we discuss about it. We discuss the qualities of Dhruv Maharaj: determination, pure devotion, and faith, all these things, right? So when we get absorbed in those, then we will inquire also. We will ask, okay, why Dhruv Maharaj did like that? Why did he? Why was there a material desire in his heart? Why was he angry on his stepmother? So all these questions should come. That's why, like, I always try to make my sessions interactive, because then I will know that which person is at what level, right? So that's why when we contemplate on the matter which we have studied in the class, and then we try to ask questions and try to apply, and questions will only come when you apply these principles in your life. Then only questions will come. For example, Bharti Mata asked very nice question just now, no? Practicing bhakti out of fear. So like this question will come, and then advancement happens when good questions come. Yes, Prabhu, you can go ahead. Ravi, Prabhu. Ravi Prabhu, you want to say something? No, okay. So the next question is ki in prayasa we are over endeavoring for material things. So there are three types of prayasa. There is jnana prayasa, there is karma prayasa, and there is a ashtang prayasa, right? And the jnana prayas means endeavoring for knowledge, and karma prayas means endeavoring for fruitive activities, and ashtang prayas means we are endeavoring for mystic siddhis. And what is not prayasa? Whatever you are arranging in the gamut of your devotional service. For example, if you are chanting 16 rounds, so if you feel that you need warmth, there it's very cold, so you need a quilt, you need good clothes, you need a chair, you need a table to keep your to keep some good picture of Chetan Mahaprabhu or Tulsi Maharani. So all these things which help you in chanting, those are not prayasa. Those are actually spiritual. That will help you in spiritual advancing in spiritual life, right? Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. So whatever is favorable for cultivating Krishna consciousness, that is not prayasa, and everything else is prayasa. Okay. So this question is there: how do we know whether we are endeavoring for Krishna or for our selfish reasons? Anybody wants to answer this? I think Pragya Mataji hasn't spoken. We have 7 people here. Am I correct? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
So anybody wants to try answering this question? Yeah, actually, this is a like little bit difficult question. So the answer is falena parichit. So whatever result you have, like suppose after endeavoring for Krishna, mostly you will feel lot of happiness and satisfaction and positive energy. Then it proves that you were endeavoring for Krishna. And when you are endeavoring for your selfish desires, then you will feel frustrated. There will be some anger, just like Bharti Mata was saying that when I endeavor for material happiness, then I get distracted and I feel not connected to Krishna. My connection with Krishna appears lost. So whatever result is there, phalena parichit. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. So if you are feeling satisfied and your hunger is getting diminished and you are feeling nourished, then basically you are endeavoring for Krishna. So when you practice bhakti, these 3 things happen. Like it is like eating prasadam. Like you feel happy, you feel nourished, your body feels energy, and you feel satisfied. Your tongue is not agitated, but it is feeling satisfied, right? And similar things happen when we like do our activities, mental activities, and physical activities for pleasing Krishna. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is another activity which we can do. I think today, I think we'll go till 4 o'clock. So here, like, try not to have only the social media thing, but other things also, like anything else also. Like I know, like everybody has similar life only, and most prominent obstacle is social media. But but even like honesty is also one thing which can help us live simply, because it decreases the duplicity of our mind when we are honest, when we confess that we are doing this thing, just like Bharti Mata confessed just now. So so when we are honest to ourselves, then Krishna will help. Otherwise, if we keep hiding from Krishna, from devotees or from Krishna, then even Krishna cannot help. Like God help those who help themselves, and we can help ourselves by being honest to ourselves. Yeah. So yeah, let's try. Just I'll give 1 minute or 2 minutes, and 1 or 2 people can share how you can make your life more simple, mentally also, and time management also. You can drink water. Yeah, so one example of prayasa is Hare Krishna. Actually, we can, since this is a 2 hour long session, we can take a 5 minute break every session. And maybe at 3 o'clock from next class, we'll take that break for 5 minutes. So yeah, so maybe I'll share first. I think people have started leaving already. So 5 minute, one prayasa from my side is like if you have a job and you always keep blaming that job and you keep looking for other options. So that will require a lot of energy. Instead, if you are satisfied with that job and you concentrate on your bhakti, then that will be a better situation, and it will stop that unnecessary prayas which you are making by searching for other jobs. Okay. So anybody else wants to share? That can make our life more simple, actually. Yeah. And we can discuss Bhagavatam, stories from Bhagavatam. If nobody is there, then we'll just continue our session.
I have one more example.
Yes. Good.
For example, if we need if we have things as much as required, like for example clothes or something else, the basic necessity, if we can fulfill, we have things for as much as it's required, I think. And if we look for more, I think it's not good. I don't have, I'm not able to frame the word.
So basically, in today's life, there is a brand competition also going on, right? Standard of living competition. That so I should have a car, I should have good branded clothes, I should have a girlfriend, I should have a good wristwatch. So all these are status symbols, but actually we don't need these. Like this is just a show off. So people if they have three shoes, they will say, okay, now there is a new shoes in the market of this brand. I'll buy this shoe also. So this is also atyar only and prayasa. Is it something similar which I said, Nidhi?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and generally this happens a lot with Matajis, right? Like they have already three, four things and they want one or two more things. So then you have to introspect and strengthen your bhakti. It means they are not feeling sheltered in their consciousness. So they should take shelter of Krishna and senior devotees. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So next is Prajalpa. Another impediment is Prajalpa, unnecessary talking. When we mix with a few friends, we immediately begin unnecessary talking, sounding just like croaking toads. If we must talk, we should talk about Krishna consciousness movement. Those outside of the Krishna consciousness movement are interested in reading heaps of newspapers, magazines, and novels, solving crossword puzzles, and doing many other nonsensical things. In this fashion, people simply waste their valuable time and energy. So, yeah, so this is very important because Rupa Goswami is saying this in the first verse also, Vachu Begam. And now in the second verse also, Prajalpa. And in the third verse also, it's Anishta Dharya Tat Karma Ravartana Sango Tyaga Sata. Sanga Tyagat. So we have to take association of devotees only. So talking is very important. We should not talk unnecessarily. And we should not waste time in talking. Because when you talk, actually the life also decreases. So we should talk as much as is needed. We should not talk a lot of verbose things. That will decrease your spiritual energy. But a person who is Krishna conscious, he talks only to the point. He doesn't talk too much. And the way you talk, that depicts the state of your consciousness also. So man is known by his speech. So as soon as a fool opens his mouth, he's understood that he's a fool, right? So that's why basically, and consciousness develops by the things which you are reading, by the friends which you are keeping. ABCD, right? Association, books, chanting, and diet. So these four things are very important. So the five friends which are very close to you, that makes your sanskaras, that makes your consciousness. So yeah, any thoughts on this? Any comments on this, or we'll just move forward?
Yeah, Prabhu, I'll say a line or two.
Yes, Rup.
मतलब दो लाइन बोल रहा हूँ बट वो चार हो सकती है.
Yes.
तो हाँ, basically in the last 20-25 years, I mean when I was in job, when I started my career, corporate life and all that. This had been our biggest thing. We used to talk a lot. Now that talking with the colleagues, with the partners, with the business partners, channel partners, even with friends, but talking had been a major thing, and we always thought that talking is something which is the way of life. This is the life. We eat, we enjoy, and we talk whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. We talk to balance our mind. We feel very good at after talking for 2 hours. इधर उधर की बातें, फालतू बातें, ड्रामा, वी फील हाँ आज का दिन अच्छा गया. हम 2 घंटे 3 घंटे हमने बहुत बातें करी ऑफिस में दोस्तों से एंड ऑल दैट. तो बट मुझे एट द एंड ऑफ इट लेट्स से अब मुझे लगता है आफ्टर 20-25 साल के बाद की इट वाज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. मतलब जो मेरा को नौकरी करनी थी, जो मुझे जॉब करना था, जो मेरा घर चलना था, वो तो वैसे भी चलता बिकॉज ऑफ माई स्किल्स एंड माई एबिलिटीज. मुझे ये फालतू जो मैंने 3-4-5 घंटे रोज बकवास करी है लाइफ में, उसकी जरूरत नहीं थी और उससे मेरे को कुछ इंप्रूवमेंट नहीं हुआ. और आज के डेट में तो वो बहुत बड़ा इंपेडिमेंट है. आज के डेट में नो बडी अप्रिशिएट्स इफ यू talk and talk. Nobody appreciates. I mean, until unless you are in sales, when sales guy have to talk proper and sensical. They don't have to just keep on repeating the same thing in sales pitch also. So talking is important. So mind थोड़ा ठीक रहता है. कम बात करने से mind भी शांत रहता है और शांत रहने से आपकी लाइफ अच्छी रहती है. और आप फंसते नहीं हो. नहीं तो आप कुछ भी बोल देते हो, सामने वाला 4 लाइन में से एक लाइन पकड़ के फिर वो बातें और बड़ी हो जाती है और फिर वो ट्रिगर हो जाता है, दूसरे को बुरा लग जाता है, किसी तीसरे को बुरा लग जाता है. इट बिकम्स अ वेरी नॉन कंड्यूसिव एटमॉस्फेयर. हरे कृष्णा.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, now since you have shared this, now you can apply this principle here also in devotee circles, that we talk as much as it is required. We don't show off, or we don't basically utter those statements which are not needed, right? So that you can apply that also, that resolution also you can take. And here, as you are saying that talking was not required. Actually, talking is the tool by which we make enemies. So here, although you are saying that only in sales Prajalpa is there, but in my office also, I see in North India there is a lot of Prajalpa. Like in South India, people are more conservative and they are more contemplative. So there is not so much Prajalpa. But Prajalpa actually, like there is lot of inconvenience for a lot of people is caused when you do more talking than required. So that is true, bro. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, bro. Yes, and that shows actually that our mind is agitated. If we are talking a lot, it means our mind is agitated. So there are like austerities of the mind also, right? Mana prasada somyatvam, monam atma vinigraha, bhava samshuddhe rityetat, tapo manasam uchyate. So the mind should feel satisfaction. Mana prasada. Prasada means satisfaction. Saumyatvam. Saumyatvam means simple. Monam means grave. The mind is grave. He's always thinking about higher things. जैसा आपने बोला कि peaceful mind होता है, then we can see Krishna actually. We can feel Krishna. As soon as the mind is conquered, we reach the super soul. Yeah. Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita. So there are a lot of verses like that, but yeah, mind peaceful is very important. Yeah, in the initial stage. Okay, we'll come to Janasangha now.
Yeah, Prabhu, I mean, sorry, I mean, did you mean that मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ इसमें इस ग्रुप में, is it anywhere going more than what is required? So let me know, because आपने ऐसा बोला कि वो चीज आप यहाँ पे भी प्रैक्टिस करो. तो if you feel that, हाँ,
Generally we bring our material conceptions in devotee circles also. So we should work on it. We should be more careful while interacting.
Okay.
Very good. But I am not pinpointing or anything, but I am telling it for myself also actually. Whatever I tell all of you, I tell it for myself.
Yeah, sure. I thought मेरे से कुछ हुआ गलती तो मैंने.
कोई नहीं. Thank you for asking. Okay, so anybody wants to read this? Anybody who is left? Pragya Mataji, you are left.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Please read.
Janasangha. Janasangha refers to associating with persons not interested in Krishna consciousness One should strictly avoid such association. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has therefore advised us to live only in the association of Krishna, conscious devotion, bhakti, sanevas. One should always engage in the service of the Lord in the association of the Lord's devotees, association with those engaged in a similar line of business in very conducive to advancement in that business. Consequently, materialistic persons form various associations and clubs to enhance their endeavors. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah, this is also very important point. Well, as I just, Well, would you like to share your understanding also of this reading on this paragraph? Pragya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my father is here, so I cannot.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so basically, as I was saying, that our sanskaras develop by the people whom we associate with. So here also it is saying that devotees, they prefer to be in the association of devotees. Bhakt Sanevas. So what is the characteristic of a devotee? Anybody knows? Asat Sanga Tyagat Ei Vaishnavachar. So one who gives up bad association, that is a devotee. That, yeah. Asat Sanga Tyagat Ei Vaishnavachar. So that is the etiquette of a Vaishnava. He gives up Asat Sanga. So we have to engage in like service to Krishna in the association of devotees. So for example, you should take services to the temple, like you should go for Prabhupada dressing, or in the during the festivals, distribute prasadam, cook prasadam. Some small service we should take in the temple if we have good relationships in the temple. है ना? Then our relationships will be formed with devotees, then our purification will happen. And simply, like, even in material things also, right? If you want to become a like ML engineer, then you have to join those groups. You have to associate with other ML engineers and develop your skill. So similarly, if you have to become a Krishna bhakta, then you have to associate with those who have bhakti in their own heart also, and take their association. And in the fourth verse, Rupa Goswami will tell that how we can associate with devotees, how we can make loving exchanges by feeding them prasadam, by giving them gifts, and by inquiring from them, by opening our hearts to advance in spiritual life. So all these ways are of associating with devotees. So yeah, so whatever our goal of life is, the similar association we should have. Yeah, association is very, very important. ध्यायन्तो विषयान् पुंसा संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगात् संजायते कामा कामात् क्रोधो विजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रम स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. So whatever we think, if we are thinking of sense objects, then we will develop attachment to them. ध्यायन्तो विषयान् पुंसा संगस्तेषु उपजायते, and from the attachment lust will come. So in the mind also, whatever we are thinking, we are actually associating with that thing. You might be sitting in the class, but if you are thinking about your friends or about how to celebrate New Year, then you are associating with that thought. You are not associating with the Rupa Goswami's mercy, right? So it's all about your mind, what you are thinking. So that's why we have to cultivate in order to think about Krishna. And this is the analogy which we just discussed, that just like in the business world, they create different platforms, institutions. Here also now we have International Society for Krishna Consciousness to discuss about Krishna, to facilitate each other's service to Krishna. Next is Niyamagra. I think I'll read this. So any questions on this? Janasangha? I hope there are. Okay. So this is also a very important niyamagra, because generally, like, devotees, they become very, very um, fanatic in the names of rules and regulations. You are not attending Mangal Aarti, or you are not offering bhoga, chanting 16 dots. So let's see what does this say. Accepting some of the scriptural rules and regulations for immediate benefit as utilitarians advocate is called niyamagra, and neglecting the rules and regulations of the shastras, which are meant for spiritual development, is called niyamagraha. The word agraha means eagerness to accept, and agraha means failure to accept. By the addition of either of these two words to the word niyama, rules and regulations, the word niyamagraha is formed. Thus, niyamagraha has a twofold meaning that is understood according to the particular combination of words. Those interested in Krishna consciousness should not be eager to accept rules and regulations for economic development, yet they should very faithfully accept scriptural rules and regulations for the advancement of Krishna consciousness. They should strictly follow the regulative principles by avoiding illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. So yeah, so this is little bit complicated. Like you have to. So niyam agraha means accepting the rules in all. In all, like we don't understand the ultimate goal, that we have to reach Krishna, we have to remember Krishna, and we are overemphasizing on the rules. We are accepting the rules, but we are being fanatic. And niyam agraha means we don't really care for the rules. Like uh, we are practicing those rules which we want according to our own whimsical needs. So both are wrong. Basically, we should know the higher purpose, and we should mold the rules according to the time, place, and circumstance. And the higher purpose is to remember Krishna. But how to remember Krishna? Like within the Vedic paradigm, we should have our lifestyle should be Vedic and governed by Shastra. That's why we should have good understanding of these literature, NOI, Bhagavad Gita, and Nectar of Instruction, Ishopanishad. So I think after the end of Bhakti Shastri, you will have good understanding that how you can remember Krishna by applying these principles in your life. So any questions on this? There's a little bit, yeah. Because yeah, yesterday our Guru Maharaj was saying that he asked some devotees that why are they keeping Bhishma Panchak? So one devotee said that because our Guru Maharaj keeps, Jayapataka Maharaj keeps. And when he asked the second devotee said ki in order to reduce weight, I am keeping Bhishma Panchak. So these are basically, you are using the rules and regulations for your material happiness, for economic development. There is no Krishna involved in that, right? So generally we keep fasting Ekadashis in order for the pleasure of the Lord, to attract the attention of the Lord, but not, those are the byproducts if your health is improved. But the primary reason is to please Krishna. Okay, if there is no question, we'll quickly cover the greed also. Yeah, so last one is lolium, and as some gentleman says, that there is sufficient in this material world provided by nature for every man's needs, but sufficient is not there for every man's greed. So greed for material things is very dangerous. So most of the problems in our material society is because of greed. Like for example, India-Pakistan war, or any other war if you take, like people are very greedy. They want to acquire some piece of land. So they are not satisfied with what they have. There is some dispute happening over one small piece of land. So if there is no greed, there is more satisfaction, more happiness in their connection with Krishna, then these wars will not happen. Yeah. So modern warfare waged between capitalists and communists is due to their avoiding the advice of Srila Rupa Goswami regarding Atyahara. Modern capitalists accumulate more wealth than necessary, and the communists, envious of their prosperity, want to nationalize all wealth and property. Yeah, so if anybody acquires more wealth than required, then the other person becomes envious, and then automatically they start fighting. They don't understand ki basically that is the arrangement of the Lord. So this is greedy. But as I said initially in the first slide, that greed can also be applied to spiritual things. If we are greedy for hearing about Krishna, then that can take us to spiritual world actually. And Chetan Charitamrita also says this, that tatra lolyam ekamulam. So greediness for hearing and chanting is the only means to attain Krishna. So everything, all these six things, although these are detrimental to bhakti, this can applied for attaining spirituality also. Okay, and this is the conclusion. So anybody wants to read? Nidhi Mata, you want to read?
Okay, I'll read. When human society gives up these elementary faults enumerated by Srila Rupa Goswami, Atyahara, etc., all enmity will cease between men and animals, capitalist and communist, and so forth. In addition, all problems of economic or political maladjustment and instability will be solved. This pure consciousness is awakened by the proper spiritual education and practice offered scientifically by the Krishna consciousness movement. This Krishna consciousness movement offers a spiritual community that can bring about a peaceful condition in the world. Every intelligent man should purify his consciousness and himself of the above mentioned six hindrances to devotional service by taking wholehearted shelter of this Krishna consciousness movement. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So everybody understood why we should not do these six things? What is the advantage? So all the problems of economic and political maladjustment and instability, they will be solved. And your relationships will also be better. If you avoid prajalpa and if you don't do atyara, prayasa more, then you can focus more on spiritual life. Actually, these are the instructions for very beginner devotees. Like if there is a very sincere devotee who just wants to prioritize his relationship with Krishna and he just wants to experience Krishna, then like separately he don't doesn't need to take care of these. But since we are like we are having the bad sanskaras and our Krishna is not our priority, that's why like we have to go through these instructions also. Okay, so any questions till now? I think we have concluded today's second verse today. Okay, no questions. Then homework for all of you is to read the purport for third verse and try to read the purport for second verse also, because the flow which I mentioned, that is there. That Prabhupada is emphasizing on plain living, high thinking for a reason, and he is building that context to bring in the importance of these six things. So unless you practice these six things, Tyahara Prayasascha Prajalpanyu, you cannot have uh, plain living and high thinking. Okay, so yeah, let us, yeah, the last activity is the resolution thing. So if anybody wants to share your resolution, Ravi Prabhu already shared, I think. Yeah. Good. Yeah, thank you for joining. Today is our last session in this year, and may the next year bring a lot of auspiciousness and satisfaction in your relationship with Krishna to all of you. And may we advance, may we keep on advancing in our journey towards Krishna.
Prabhuji, I also want to add a line.
Yes, Rob.
मैं अभी 2-3 दिन पहले गया था इस्कॉन नोएडा, तो
Yes.
इट वाज अ सेशन ऑन भगवत गीता. तो प्रभु जी वाज टेलिंग अस कि हैप्पी न्यू ईयर, एवरीबॉडी सेज हैप्पी न्यू ईयर, गुड मॉर्निंग, हैप्पी दिवाली, हैप्पी दशहरा एंड ऑल दैट. इट्स लाइक कि हम किसी को बोल रहे हैं कि आपका मुंह मीठा हो जाए, आपका मुंह मीठा हो जाए, आपका मुंह मीठा हो जाए, और आप सामने को कुछ दे नहीं रहे हो. आप उसको कुछ भी नहीं दे रहे हो, या आप उसको मिर्ची खिला रहे हो, but you keep on saying happy new year, happy new year. Other person also responds by saying, thank you, same to you and all that.